Another kind of newer brown case. Could have anything. Oh.
Ah, my 68 Goldtop.
This is the new one.
This is the one that replaced my original.
Your first Les Paul.
Because I felt very bad about not having that guitar anymore. The one that I did the first album with, and was my very first Les Paul purchase. And I found this one in Boston, and appeared to be completely original, even with the nylon
saddles. Hey, dot on the eye.
Those,
68.
Somebody changed the tuners, but
Grovered it.
But that's about it.
Now, you said this one's better. You think this one sounds better than the first one you had?
I think this one does sound, has a little more oomph to it. It's got a beautiful neck on it, plays great, plays beautifully. I always find it interesting to look closely at the way these were sprayed and to see natural cracking.
And checking on there, yeah.
I once had the great opportunity up in Boston. It was extremely cold winter. We were playing in Revere, Massachusetts, right on the beach. And my friend who had brought several late 50s guitars, and one of them was a Goldtop.
Yeah.
It was very cold outside, brought it into a hot dressing room and probably opened it too quickly. And we watched it.
In real time.
In real time go.
It shatter. Oh.
I was like, man, if I had a camera, a film camera or something to capture that. This is the craziest thing I ever saw.
Your guitars come back to room temperature, kids, for your case. Unless you want that to happen.
You know. Of course, that was like, you know, these old finishes. It's part of why they're so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's a keeper.
It's a keeper. Croc case.
Yep.
Clean one too.
I love the Who. And I'm not a big SG guy, as we talked about. Here's the thing. These do it for me.
Yeah.
I love these.
I love them in white. They look so
so cool. You know, and most of the times I got that Maestro or whatever. And but to find one, you know, I got a couple of these without tremolos, and they're just great, man. They're great. They're just great power rhythm solo guitars. There's two variants. This being a 63. In Los Angeles, I have a 61.
Slant.
That has a slant. I prefer the ones with the slant just because of the way they feel, because you can just, there's just something about it. But this is great. 1963, really clean, white, Polaris White. And they're just a great, powerful rock guitar. It's like so simple. And it's my favorite SGs. You know, the specials. I just love SG Special.
The David St. Hubbins Spinal Tap rhythm guitar, man.
Exactly. And it's just fantastic. So, and the color you can't beat. And
that's just totally unfair. That's white. That is like still like pure white.
I have a red one, red special at home. I also have a TV one in LA.
Cool.
In LA. So they're cool to collect, and they're just fun guitars. So
this is how you P-90.
This is one of the few ways I P-90.
Well, this case has seen better days.
Yeah. Sometimes the case is just as interesting as what's inside.
Well, I'm so anxious to see.
Yep.
Oh,
yes. Okay. So I just wanted to say I just love Juniors and Les Paul Specials and all those kind of guitars because they're just so fun. You know, these are perfect guitars for just like sitting in front of the television and just like, you know, plinking away on just whatever, you know, hitting just like, you know, whatever. And this one is pretty special. I saw it in an auction that Richard Gere was having. What really just kind of like brought my attention to this guitar is not the fact that the bridge has been replaced, but because it says Tosh right there.
As in Peter Tosh?
As in Peter Tosh. And so, you know, I gathered that this must have been Peter Tosh's guitar at one point. I don't know if it actually was or not. I like thinking that it was. I love Bob Marley. I love Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer. I'm a huge reggae fan. And, you know, these necks they're like so like flat, you know?
It's a 60, right?
Yeah, they're so flat. And I love how flat they are, you know, flat with like binding, but with such a small neck. And again, P90s, black. Yeah. And
the bridge,
yeah.
why change it?
Yeah, why change it? You know, I think Peter Tosh might have put it on there, you know, so why change it? It's, to me, it's original to the guitar. And I really like the double cutaway specials, you know. There's something about the double cutaways that are really nice.
The TV just looks good.
Yeah, the yellow is great. I don't see how it would show up. Well, I do see how it would show up as white on a black and white TV. But man, the yellow, it's such a great shade of yellow.
It's killer.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So this is a great guitar. And it's a little heavier too than usual. You know?
Oh, wow, that neck is.
Yeah. Yeah. Heavier. Yeah. And you know, all I want to do is go skank, 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 skank. So it's a good one.
Very, very cool.
What could possibly be in here?
By Johnny Thunders.
Oh, yeah. TV Junior.
Oh, man.
What year is that one?
59 TV Junior.
Yeah, got the beveled edge.
Yep.
You seem, I look at old photos of you, you always seem to have a gaggle of Les Paul Juniors
Yeah, I like.
around you.
Yeah, I always liked them. They were cool, and it was so cheap originally. You know, and that was that was always part of the criteria for getting things.
Yeah.
I could afford them.
Now, the TVs back then, I mean,
They were kind of
still nobody really cared at that time when you were buying these. What were these, like, what were you paying for Les Paul Juniors when you were
150,
150?
120, 100, maybe 175 tops.
For really, really
Oh, yeah.
something like that. How many juniors do you think you've had?
Well, I sent you a list of stuff. Let's say I probably had 50.
Yeah.
Because they were easy. Juniors were always easy trade. So for getting involved in the trades, like this is too much money. Well, you throw in a couple of these guys, you know, the money sort of adds up on the debtor and the credit side. You know, it's like, so yeah. But I always liked them, and they were always the coolest ones. Like I said, I had a lot of juniors, but I always liked the TV yellow ones.
Do you prefer double cut over single cut?
Yeah, I prefer the double cut because you can get up higher on the neck, and it reminds me of Johnny Thunders and Keith Richards has had a few, and with Leslie West, he also played some of these occasionally.
Some
And
great.
plus, they're good to knock around or have these the soap bar.
Yeah. And this one's got just enough wear on
Oh,
it
yeah.
to have some
It's a
fun.
little beat up. Oh, nuts! Exciting.
This one looks interesting.
Oh, yeah. This one, I was going to try to get Gibson to make me my version of this. Most of the Firebirds have the little baby humbuckers in it. And I don't know where I saw this. Maybe it might have been Albert. But it's got the P-90s in it with the cream. And it's a really loud, great sounding guitar. I've played it on a few bar gigs. I haven't really taken it out on tour yet. But I just love the fact that it has P-90s in it, you know.
See, it's real. Can I see it real quick just to look at that?
Is
Because,
that factory or did somebody customize it? I don't know.
Okay, this is a really transition guitar. Because technically, this would be a Firebird 3-2 pickup with the short maestro. But it's got an unbound neck. And
Wow.
it's got no banjo tuners. So this is a 65 transition era.
I didn't know.
This is right when they were starting to go to the non-reverse Firebirds that would have.
So the non-reverse has P-90s in it.
The non-reverse ones, the 1 and 3 have P-90s. The
Right.
5 and 7 have mini hums.
But I'd never seen this stuff.
And no banjo tuners, the geared tuners, and it has the flat headstock instead of the
So
raised
this is
around.
kind of a transition.
This is like right in that transition
You think
between
it's-
the reverse and
you
non-reverse.
think it's
Firebird.
65?
Totally 65.
Oh, then it's valuable then, huh?
Oh, it's a cool
And
guitar.
it sounds good, especially in the middle with these two pickups. It's a beautiful Rolling Stones type tone.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you spotted that.
but in terms of Firebirds, the white Johnny Winter signed one is still your
Well,
main squeeze,
those
isn't it?
pickups are a little brighter.
Yeah.
which works better with the dirty knobs. So this, I played a bar gig once with this, and it sounded great, but I've never instinctively reached for this one. But every time I walk by it, I go, "That's really cool."
No, it is. That is a sweet guitar.
I'm glad to know it's unique.
Croc case. Might as well, if we're going to get started, I have a feeling we're going to see a few of these today.
Protected by alligators. But that's
And cardboard.
Cardboard alligators. That's my
Not sure
favorite.
who
It's my
I-
spirit animal.
Whose idea this was, but yeah. You got the form right.
Yeah.
Does the lid stay on?
Probably not.
No.
I mean,
Oh, but look at that guitar.
yeah.
Oh, baby. Well, I have a feeling this is the first of many. What do we got here?
55. This is the oldest Junior I have. Had a 54 for a minute and discovered I don't prefer the 54 neck angle. This is a really good one. It's not terribly light. It's a really good sounding.
Doesn't bug me.
But you know what's unique about this guitar for me is stainless steel frets. When we were talking about frets, I've always said no to that question when given the option, would you like stainless steel? I say, hell no. Why would I want that? And I got this with the stainless steel frets, unbeknownst to me. I can't tell a difference.
Really?
But I've never played this guitar with nickel frets, so I don't know the difference, but it sounds damn good and it doesn't bother me and these will last forever, so.
What's your beef with the 54s and why do you like the 55s better? You're talking about neck angle and bridge angle. For those who don't know, explain that a little bit.
As far as my opinion, which is worth a penny, the 54 neck angle was, I guess, what you would say is a shallower neck angle.
Not as much tilt back.
It just makes a difference in the playability of the guitar to me. It also puts the strings closer to the top of the pickup, which my palm will always on that.
Start hearing the chunk on the magnets. Yeah.
Yep. Some 55s I've seen too, this bridge post would almost be touches
that treble
the
side of
pickup cover,
yeah.
which that gives you a brighter tone across the board because it's the fulcrum there is so close to the pickup.
Yeah.
That's just me. I've only had one 54. Maybe there are others that are fantastic, but it was a first year guitar. And
same thing with first year Les Paul Goldtops.
Yeah.
Shallow neck angle and by the second year.
Yeah. Boy, they had it.
We
got it now.
Dialed in by the second year. Is this Music City or is this
this is Mojo Axe.
Mojo Axe.
I think most of the juniors that I take on the road, which are all of them, have been converted to those, the compensated G-string. As you know, all these guitars the bridges were designed to have a wound G-string.
Wound G, yeah. Really a great design. From a foot away, you would never even tell that there's compensation on there, but it really...
For all the screw counters, though, all of my bridges and tuners are either in the case or in my underwear drawer. Usually, my tech he complains about vintage tuners because they're so stiff, and sometimes there's some slippage.
Yeah.
Which is why on so many player grade juniors, they got Grovers on them.
You know where this one came from? You remember?
I think it came from Pennsylvania. There's a whole population of these guitars in the heartland that were bought as student model guitars, like you said, and put under beds, and people at that time going to war.
Everything we're looking at today has seen the road, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is too precious to keep at home.
No, not of mine.
Another Gibson guitar. This one is
Assuming something gold is in this.
I think it is,
gauge.
yeah. Look at this guy.
Oh, with the Bigsby.
With the Bigsby. So this is 53 that Larry Craig put the Bigsby on.
Oh, look at the dish on that thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's got a top carve.
It's got a good top car.
Yo.
And look where Larry had to put this bridge to get that angle right. It is dead set against the top of that guitar.
Wow.
So this one used to belong to Jason at Fretboard Journal.
Yeah.
And he did a piece on Larry and talked Larry into putting the bridge on there, putting the Bigsby on. But there's some things that have been replaced. I think the pickup covers have been replaced on this one, of course the tuners. But all the electronics are what they originally were. And it's just green.
Green is what you want to see.
And you can feel the check.
You can actually feel the texture of the check.
That is
so deep.
The most ASMR.
Yeah.
Like just that sound of your fingernails on it makes me so happy.
That's great. When do you go P90s?
I play this guitar a lot, actually, a whole lot. This one gets a lot of use in the studio when I want something that sounds like it is impossible to completely control. This neck P-90 I love because it is so stratty. I mean, most people don't realize that this is what another Brick in the Wall solo was one of these.
Yeah.
So you can put some compression and a little tiny bit of EQ on this and make it sound like any guitar on earth. You can go from, making it sound like a jazz box to making it sound like a Les Paul neck to making it sound like a Strat. And this right here is just, it's oozy of bridge pickups. It's just murder right in the middle of your forehead. Death, which with the Bigsby works great. I believe that because this bridge is so low to the body that you're getting more vibration transferred from the strings into the top of this guitar. And one thing about the neck on these, that flat, I'm sure you've probably held a lot of these, but it plays like a damn Ibanez or something. Yeah. It's so fast, These aren't the original frets, but they're smaller than what I normally.
Correct, yeah.
And man, you can really fly. You can play really fast on this guitar. But this one also goes on every tour. Probably my favorite tones on the new record that's going to be out in the summer, I got with this guitar through, I would split the Tweed Twin and the Blues Breaker and then run like a fuzz and then and then I would turn the volume way down and get on that neck pickup, and it's just the brightest, sparkliest, and then you barely move the volume knob and it goes havoc. It's noise and just general destruction, which I love. Plus, man, nothing looks cooler than that.
And a greened out gold top.
I know. I think that's my wife's favorite is the gold tops that have oxidized. Because it just, what looks more rock and roll than that? You can see where somebody sweated into that thing.
Yeah.
And it's like the top of those old Roman buildings, that have turned green over the years. It's like,
but
history.
Man, carve.
Yeah.
See, the poker chip.
It won't lay flat,
Won't lay flat because there's so much dish on the top, man. That's killer.
Yeah, I really love this guitar.